𝗚𝗿𝗲𝗚 𝗚𝗿𝗲𝗚𝗚.
Welcome everyone to the Sheffield United Way match preview for this top of the table red and white Wizards as they return to action, visiting the Cardiff City Stadium, playing against, I think we can all figure this one out, Cardiff City. Now, our hosts are struggling. They are sitting just outside of the relegation zone with 18 points from 20 games, and they are currently on a 7-game run without a win. Now, I don't know if anybody is as pessimistic as I am. I'm a bit of a doom monger, but we all know what that kind of stat means when you're top of the league. Anybody who's played Football Manager knows that your good run ends at a team that's not won in months. But let's be honest, we're in a fantastic position and on a brilliant run of form. We have battled through injury concerns. We have faced suspensions. We've had a really bloody difficult run of games, I think, if we're being honest with ourselves. And after last week's 2-0 victory against Plymouth, we are not only top of the league, but we are 3 points clear, building up just a little bit of a gap after Leeds slipped up. We've got 4 points between us and Burnley in 3rd place. So again, just building a little bit of a buffer. And I promise this will be the last time I bring it up. It won't. But if only we had those 2 points back at the start of the season, who knows how far we could start to pull away in this run of games that we've got coming up now. But let's reflect on Plymouth just a little bit, because was that the performance that we were hoping for? No, it wasn't. It was difficult. I thought we allowed them way too much time, too much space on the ball. I thought they had so much energy. We're picking up the seconds. I thought they were the better team in the game. I thought we really struggled to get out, really struggled to impose ourselves on them. But here's the question. Does any of that matter at all when you have a defence that gives no chances away, a team that concedes no goals, and England's future number 1 playing in your net? No, it doesn't. Because regardless of the performance, this team does just know how to win at the moment. Play badly, play well. However it goes, right now United are on a great run, and I hope that this will continue. This game was also notable for a really nice moment. We got to celebrate fantastically when Tom Davies scored the winner against Sunderland earlier this season. Well, now he has played his first 90 minutes in over 3 years. It's his first 90 minutes since joining United. It's fantastic to see him back, starting to get fit, and to see him playing games of football. So that's something really to be celebrated. Now, before we move on and get into the team news, let's thank our video sponsors. That is Panenka Bar and Grill. Now, that is a fantastic, it's a premium bar. It's set over 2 floors. You've got a separate restaurant space. You've got unique VIP boxes for anybody who wants to go out there and get a private hire for a really special occasion. It really is a fantastic bar to go and hang out, to meet your friends, and just to have a really nice time watching football, enjoying yourself, and having some lovely, nice drinks all together. It is our designated pre- and post-match game, and it's the perfect place to prep yourself for all Sheffield United games before taking the short walk down to Bramall Lane. Panenka Bar is on New Era Square. Please do go and check it out. Now, let's think about United's predicted lineup. I personally am going to go with the man. It's got to be Michael Cooper. Is obviously going to start every game that is possible in our net. At right back, I will go with 𝗣𝗍𝗲𝗄𝐻 continuing his role. I think it's a real shame about 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐻𝐺's injury. I think when that's come, it's just come at the worst possible time for him, because he was really breaking in, he was ready to step forward and was really competing to be our number 1 first choice right back. If he's fit, will he get back to that position? Hopefully, and hopefully he's not too far away. I think if he does appear in this one, though, it will be off the bench. Beside him, the 2 centre-backs, I think it's going to be Harry Souttar and Jack Robinson will continue playing alongside him. He's been a really nice deputy. His partnership with Harry Souttar has been really impressive. But I also think at this stage, 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐻 is still injured. I'm not expecting him to be back fully fit and ready to start this one. So I do think we'll continue with that same pairing of Souttar and Robinson. Next to them on the left, it'll be Harrison Burrows. obvious choice, easy, let's move on. I do feel a little bit sorry for Sam McCallum. He impresses me every time he gets on the pitch, but unfortunately, we do just have someone who's in a great vein of form and who is a lovely footballer. So Harrison Burrows will continue in that role. In terms of the next one, though, this is where it's difficult. We're talking the midfield. Now, 𝗍𝗵𝗏 will start. I'm pretty confident about that, but who starts alongside him? 𝗍𝗍𝗲 𝗚𝗿𝗶 went off injured against Millwall, and we've heard positive noises post-Plymouth. We've heard some suggestions he might be back, but also there's a chance he's not going to be fit for this one. There's a chance that his hamstring still hasn't fully recovered and he's not going to be ready. Therefore, will it be him or will it be Tom Davies? I don't know. I'm going to hedge my bets. I think it will be Tom Davies, and that does worry me just a little bit. I think the performance levels without 𝗍𝗍𝗲 are a bit of a concern. I think we really missed his physical presence, his dominance in terms of how he controls that midfield against Plymouth. And so I think this could be a really difficult game for us, particularly with the way that Cardiff like to pack their midfield with a really tight four-man diamond. It'll make it really difficult for Davies and Peck, and they're going to have to stand up to a really significant challenge if it is going to be those two that play in this one. In front of them, the three picks itself. 𝗍𝗫𝗏, Callum O'Hare, Gustavo Hamer. Next question, boss, because it's obviously going to be those three driving us forward. And at centre forward, it's a difficult choice. I think both Kiefer Moore and Rhian Brewster are fit. Both of them have got goals in the last couple of games, which is fantastic to see. I do think we will go with Kiefer Moore, though. I think it should be expected that he's our starter whenever he is fully fit and ready to play. And so I believe he will be the one who gets the nod. Rhian Brewster, he did score in his last start. I thought he impressed as well against Plymouth when he came off the bench. It's a lovely ball that sets up the penalty, and he really does unlock that defence. But I do think that he's probably still a little bit down the pecking order. Tyrese Campbell, as far as I know, is still out injured. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your squad would be. Let me know what team you are picking to go and face this challenge away at Cardiff. Now, to move on to our opposition team news, I'm going to hand over to me, because it turns out I couldn't find anybody from Cardiff who was willing to give us a contribution to go through their information. However, fortunately, I have been able to talk to some of my friends, some of my contacts, and find out a little bit of information that we need to know about Cardiff. Now, Cardiff's last game was a 2-2 draw away at Stoke. Really notable by the fact that Cardiff should have won this game of football. They were the better team. They conceded a 95th minute equaliser, and that extended Cardiff's winless run to 7 games. For that one, they land up in a 3-4-1-2. That's a back three with a 4 diamond through the middle, 2 wingers, 1 centre forward. And it's a really interesting team, actually, as you look through it. There's definite quality there, but there's also gaps. There's also issues where you can get at this squad, as is being shown by their current league position. So it's going to be Jack Alnwick in goal. The back three in the last game was Callum Chambers, of course, once of Arsenal, has a lot of experience in the Premier League and at a higher level than the Championship. Alongside him in the last game was Goutas and Darland. I think Perry and G will come back in at this point. I think he'll replace Darland and he'll be the right-hand side of that back three. In terms of their midfield four, we will have Andy Rinomhota, a really talented young Championship central midfielder, used to be at Reading and really does have a bright future in front of him, but he does struggle a little bit for consistency and a little bit for fitness, so they'll be trying to get more out of him. In front of him, you'll have Joe Rawls and 𝗏𝗡𝗄𝗄 𝗍𝗫𝗏. They both will try and get forward, but are predominantly defensive-minded midfielders, and in front of them, Callum O'Dowd, and he's the player who's most likely to try and drive them forward. Out wide is where they have most of their creativity and threat. They've got a lot of options who they can pick from in these wide positions, but it seems as though 2 have established themselves. So I would expect it to be Joe Willock and Anwar El Ghazi who continue in for this game. I think they're really dangerous, so our fullbacks are going to have to be on it. Up front, in the last game, it was Yakou Meite who started, but I'm expecting it to be Callum Robinson. He's their top scorer at the moment. We know the talent that he has against his former club. It feels like it's almost certain that he's going to be the player who gets the nod. As I said at the start, they are 7 without a win. They've dropped back towards the relegation zone. This is a really dangerous team. Let's not get away from ourselves here. They had a fantastic run when they first brought in 𝗏𝗏𝗏 as their, at the time, interim manager. I think they got 14 points from his first 6 games. They've not won since, but there is danger within them. So we've got to be at our best. We've got to turn up. We've got to make sure that we put in a proper performance in this one. Now, moving us on to the referee. Now, the referee for United against Plymouth is a name that all of us will remember. We'll all have seen him before. And if you don't remember his name, you will just remember him for his headband. It is, of course, Darren Bond. Now, he's ref 12 games so far this season. The majority of those, 7, have been in the Premier League. He's also ref 3 in the League Cup and only 2 in the Championship. But his 2 games in the Championship have certainly been eventful. He has given out 5.5 yellow cards per game in the Championship. He's also given out 2 red cards in 2 games in the Championship. So if anyone is of a betting persuasion, they may want to look at cards, because that seems to be where Darren Bond likes to go. He last refed United in our 2-2 draw away at Coventry, where of course he did dish out a number of yellow cards, and he also dished out a red card to 𝗍𝗿𝗄𝗍. I think we will all agree he had to send off 𝗍 in that situation, but the fact that he didn't send off the Coventry striker as well, either for one of his dives, for the fact that he was pushing 𝗍, the fact that he elbowed him in the face, is a little bit of a bone of contention. However, we know he's an experienced ref. United know what to expect, so we've got to make sure that we are on it and we don't give him the opportunity to make any more of those decisions that go against us. But let's move on, because I could get quite grumpy if I continue talking about that. So, player connections. And now our player connections are brought to you by 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗹. 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗹 is a virtual band. Most of their members are big blades. They love Sheffield United and we love them. Do go and check out 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹.com for their latest album. It is called Tall Tales of 10 Girls and it really is excellent. Now, played for both. We always pick 4. I'm always terrible at it. But today I sat down, I was on the train and I said, right, get this right. Get 4 good uns. And I think I've delivered here. I think I've got some good names. I think I've remembered them well. And I think you'll all sit there in the comments and you go, yeah, he's nailed this one. So starting us off, we've referenced him already. It's Callum Robinson. His best game for United, his best game in red and white, undoubtedly came away at Chelsea. He came off the bench as a substitute at Stamford Bridge and he inspired United to come back from 2-0 down and take a point during that memorable season when we ended up finishing 9th. For Cardiff, he's their top scorer this season and he's got 14 goals in 64 games since joining them in 2022. Next up, we've got Greg Halford. He made 41 appearances for United. A lot will remember him as starting as a right back, ending up playing in just about every position, including starting as a striker in the playoffs where he scored the winning goal against Preston in the semi-final. He joined Cardiff much later on at the later stage of his career where he played 28 somewhat forgettable games, I think we can say, for the Bluebirds. Nathan Blake is where I am going next, and he has a good goal-scoring record for both clubs, which really caught me by surprise because it wasn't what I expected. He got 35 in 131 after joining Cardiff at just 18 years old. He then left Cardiff to join United, where he got 34 in 69 for us. That's a really good goal-scoring record for anyone at any level. So really impressive, and a player who is probably fondly remembered by both clubs. And finally, though, we bring on to another one who comes directly from Cardiff to Sheffield. And I'm talking about the man himself, the beard, John Brayford. Now, of course, he initially joined us on loan from Cardiff, which is where he gained his cult following for his fantastic beard and his inspirational performances in driving us to the FA Cup semi-final. Unfortunately, once we signed him permanently, he didn't quite kick on. He didn't reach those same heights, but he will forever be well remembered and forever a cult hero at Bramall Lane. Let me know who else you can think of in the comments. Let me know if you think I've smashed it or if I'm still an idiot and I've forgotten some of the obvious names. But finally, let's come to our score predictions. Now, if you want your score prediction to be shared as part of these videos, if you want to have a whole host of other benefits, as well as a fantastic group chat where we can talk all things football, all things Sheffield United, and for the next 2 weeks specifically, all things darts, please do head to our Patreon. Join us at patreon.com/Sheff United Way. It really does help to contribute to everything we do and really helps us keep the lights on, especially during these dark times when we need it most. Now, what have our Patreons gone for? Paul has gone for a 3-0 win for Sheffield United. And if I know Paul, he thinks it's going to be a Ryan Brewster hat-trick to bring the points back to Sheffield. James has gone 3-1 to United. Mark, our newest Sheff United Way legend, he's gone for a 2-0 win to the Blades. Holdfast agrees with him. He also thinks 2-0. Ant and Nick have both gone 1-0. Jono thinks we win 2-1. Now, that's all the positives. That's all the happy people within our chat. But Ray and Hal disagree. They think this is a really tough game. And you know what? I agree with them. This is a difficult place to go. It's a long journey. And Cardiff are not mugs. They're a difficult team to play against at this level. They both think that without 𝗍𝗍𝗄𝗍, that with some of the other injuries and difficulties, with the performance that we saw last week, they've gone for a 1-1 draw. They don't think that we're going to win this game. And like I say, I do broadly agree with them. I understand. I've got some concerns myself, but I'm going to be positive. It's not like me. I'm feeling optimistic. I think we will win this. I'm going to agree with a couple of our Patreons. I'm going to say 2-1 to Sheffield United. And I think 𝗍𝗲 will grab at least one goal when he visits the Wales capital, which of course is the club, well, the country that he represents. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for preparing for our away game with me. For all those who are making the journey down to Cardiff, had a fantastic time. I sadly cannot join you for this one as we're having our roof done. But fortunately, I will be able to see anybody who's at Sunderland. I'll see you there. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Have a great time. Thank you to those who've listened. Up the Blades.